The Penn State sexual abuse scandal and that scathing report issued today, which says officials at the very highest level of the university repeatedly and deliberately concealed facts. It accused four men of, quote, total and consistent disregard for Jerry Sandusky's victims. It is a condemnation that raises new questions about the legal and moral responsibility to act for everyone. Here's ABC senior national correspondent Jim Avila.
The knees on the bigger-than-life statue outside the stadium Joe Paterno built in Happy Valley, PA, must have buckled a bit today. But at Penn State, they still sell Joe Pa souvenirs on Main Street, and the library carries his name in honor of the coach who won the right way, a reputation perhaps destroyed by a sex scandal that an independent university investigation found the coaching legend and his bosses could have stopped.
The most powerful men at Penn State failed to take any steps for 14 years to protect the children who Sandusky victimized.
The four men taken down by scandal: Graham Spanier, president of the university for 16 years, Gary Schultz, vice president, in charge of the athletic department and the police, and Tim Curley, Penn State's athletic director, described as Paterno's errand boy, and the very symbol of Penn State's past glory, 45-year head coach Joe Paterno.
The motivation to avoid the consequences of bad publicity.
Coach, what's the worst part of it?
Coach Paterno told the grand jury he had no specific knowledge of Sandusky's pedophilia. But Judge Freeh's investigators found emails that describe Paterno as, quote, anxious to know where the investigation, stands. And even more damning, the Freeh report accuses Paterno of stopping his superior's plan to report Sandusky to authorities in 2001. Another email saying the plan changed after, quote, talking it over with Joe. Sandusky would go on to assault at least 7 other boys between 2001 and 2009.
Their cover-up of Sandusky's behavior is the direct cause of my clients being molested by Sandusky in 2007 and 2008.
Paterno's son adamant today that the Freeh report changes nothing.
There's really no new facts involved in this. Just some new interpretations that really won't take away from anything that he's done.
So where are those very powerful men at Penn State University now? The president of the university was forced to resign. His 2 deputies face perjury charges in state court. And of course, Joe Paterno died within 2 months of when he was dismissed. Diane?
Thank you, Jim. And now I want to bring in ABC's legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Dan, I want to go back to Judge Freeh's exact words. The motivation was to avoid the consequences of bad publicity.
I think that this report is making it clear that that was the problem, is that rather than saying, what do we need to do to protect kids in the future, they were saying, what do we need to do to protect the football program? And that was the fundamental problem with the culture that this report is exposing.
And so what's the lesson in this for every single person watching tonight about seeing something, saying nothing?
When you have a position of power like these people did, you have an obligation, not to the football team, not to raise money for the university, but to the kids, to the people in the community who you're supposed to be there to protect. And I think that this is going to be a message heard loud and clear at universities around the country. This is not, I don't think, going to just sort of fall into the abyss. I think this is going to be a fundamental change.
Thank you so much, Dan Abrams.